Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the CKC channel. I'm your host, Freedom Master Calvin Klaassen. And welcome to day 2 of the SA Paradigm Chess 30 Champs. We're going to see the Group B players fight it out for those top 2 spots to go through to the knockout stages, which will take place next weekend. So yesterday was an exciting one. We saw 2 guys prevail. I am Henry Steele. He, of course, is the Paradigm Kings champion. He's been continuing his great run with the full score display yesterday. And then we had the newcomer Ben Hercules also squeezing through, beating Grandmaster Kenny Solomon in the last vital game. So interesting stuff. Of course, Kenny Solomon was there, and I am David Gluckman, Paul's dad. He also gave some good games. Unfortunately, the results weren't so nice, but I think yesterday was fantastic to see and watch. Maybe you guys will see that the last match I was getting a bit tired. I was yawning a bit, but all in all, that's just a bit of fatigue. I think the excitement kept me going. So anyways, first of all, welcome to my co-guest for today, Lance van Vogel.
Morning, Calvin.
Yeah,
thanks for having me on your show yet again.
Yes.
Exciting times with the DragonBishops.
Great to have you on. I'm not doing the whole long introduction. You are on the show way too much, Lance, so people know you already. So good to have you on board. And of course, for our first match, I think we have the white pieces, Craig Willenberg, co-founder of the PC30 variant, and of course the newcomer as well, David's son, FIDE Master Paul Gluckman. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, well,
thanks.
Okay, so just maybe one question for each guy, and then we'll go over to the chessboard. Craig, you have done excellent in the last tournament. I think you ended second. So anything new you're bringing to the table this tournament, or not much to reveal?
well, we'll have to see what the experiments reveal. Gonna try some new theories, and let's see if it works.
Okay, so some new ideas we're looking forward to see, guys. And then, Paul, have you been taking some hints from your dad, or have you been giving your dad hints?
No, I think we'll just see how it goes. No expectations as of yet.
Okay, guys. So, Lance, there you have it. The guys don't want to reveal the secrets they've been whispering to their dragons. Let's see what happens at the chessboard. So let's switch over to the chessboard side, and we are going to generate a new position, guys. Just a reminder, it's 15 minutes aside with a 15-second increment. Craig has got the white pieces, Paul has got the black pieces, and yeah, just to the players as well, as soon as we start, you can just mute everything so that you don't hear us. It's important for you to not hear all Lance's bad suggestions. But I'm kidding, Lance also gives good suggestions. Lance looks too serious over there. Okay, so let's just generate a new position over here. I'm gonna say I'm gonna click 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, and there we have it. Interesting one over there. The Dragon Bishops are standing on B1 and G1. So welcome to everybody in the chat box. Prapella, he's also going to join us today. He's already in the chat box trying to study his opponents, future opponents, and Boom Shaka as well. And Pela says, yeah, the guys are giving nothing away. Yeah. So any questions from the players? Are you guys ready? Okay, looks like you guys are ready. So make sure to mute everything, and then Craig, whenever you are ready, you can make your move. Good luck, guys. So Boom Shaka says, good morning, gents. Looking forward to more exciting games. Yes, welcome again, Boom Shaka. Bungie saying good morning all. Good morning, everyone. Okay, Lance. So you joined me for some of the last tournaments commentating, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you're getting more accustomed to everything. I think I just need to shift you slightly more to the left here. I'm gonna do it manually right now. What do you expect? What can you guess? How would you start this game, Lance?
I think
Do I have to press play?
No need, Paul. It's fine. Hopefully you can't hear us, Paul. Can you hear us? No, Paul can't hear us. That's good. So
Okay, I also
I'll
want
just
to
mute.
ask you.
I'll just mute
You can
Paul
hear us.
on Zoom quickly. I think he forgot to or yeah. Oh, there. Okay, he unmuted himself. Smart guy. Okay. Anyway, so it's off. So what did you say, Lance? I see E4's on the board. E4, E5.
Well, all I can say now is there's just a lot of options at the board now. Let's just breathe in for a bit.
Yes, yes.
And see
Usually,
what-
you know what I do with those knights? Usually, I like to put a knight on E3. It's like controls everything. D5, F5. Okay, and Craig goes in for a type of king's gambit stuff. Okay, so in this case, it's not a gambit because the queen is already defending F4. Does black capture and try to get the queen out early, or because there's a dragon bishop on B8, or does black keep it solid with something like D6, or what do you do? What do you do?
I mean,
What do you
if
think?
you play D6, doesn't it maybe restrict as well? Maybe your queen's development.
Yes, we saw yesterday Henry squeezing David there because he had so much space, and Henry had to first play G6 and then get in F5. So it seemed like taking a lot of space can be very advantageous in this game. I mean, in the normal game as well. So we're still seeing the last move F4 on the board. And yeah, any updates, Lance? What's happening in Germany? Chess-wise? Any PC30 games getting played there?
Well, at the moment,
what-
people are more focused on our lockdown here at the moment. So,
Okay.
chess-wise, I don't know. I don't think they've started
Okay.
playing over the board tournaments. Actually, very severe still at the moment. Yeah, we're not as lucky as South Africa.
Yeah, no, it happens. I mean, we could have said the same thing about a couple of months ago about Germany. We're not as lucky as Germany. So I think everybody has all the countries has their tough times. So hopefully you guys will get past that one as well. Hopefully all of this will get to a certain point of relief for everyone in the world at some point. So
I think what people are concerned here the most is the fact that they can't travel. That's the thing that hits the Germans the hardest, is that they can't travel.
the fact that they can't stay in their own country.
The
German
fact
of
that
you.
they can't go to other countries. That's what hurts them the most.
And that's interesting. Yeah, of course, sometimes you want to just break off and get to South Africa, maybe.
And there's your move on the board, Calvin.
Want to D6 solid. But I mean, I don't know what else Black could have tried over there. Maybe Black could have played F6 and invite their trade of queens, maybe. F6 and then open up the Dragon Bishop and just say we're going to play symmetrical. I think this game, there's still a lot of gray areas, so a lot of room for
I mean, there's a lot you can play in this position. It's still nothing, it's nothing critical yet. Sometimes this position, I've realized in some games, how critical position can become. It's like it's like out of nowhere, and it just becomes critical. You don't even sense it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, yeah, Bungie already saying after move 2 with F4 out of prep. So maybe, I mean, with this game, you need to sometimes. There's some things you can already kind of what you've seen in the last couple of tournaments. So there can be maybe like the first 2 or 3 moves prep. 4 moves, obviously not a lot, but definitely more room for surprises and so on. I can hear my chair is actually making a noise. I must try not to move around too much. But yeah, so pawn to d6, how should white continue? Is white gonna go pawn to d4 immediately? Is he gonna develop a knight first? What to do? Any updates, by the way, on the Premier League as well, Lance? You are our local expert on the Premier League. I don't stay up to date so much. You know, you as a United fan.
I'm actually taking a slight breather with watching Premier League football for the last, let's say 1 weekend I didn't watch.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now you're talking about the weekend. I haven't been watching for ages, and you're telling me you're out of date here with the weekend. So okay.
C3 on the board.
C3, so
again, not much.
It looks like white is trying to expand with D4.
Yeah, I mean, Calvin, it's a weird time at the moment. I mean, sport has been affected heavily with COVID.
Yeah.
Whether it's football football, whether it's chess, I mean, you have your implications. I mean, there's a bit of pros and cons to everything, I guess.
Yeah. No, look, guys, I would think that it's more cons than pros, but there is still a bit of pros there somewhere. So I think the chess players got the longer end of the stick with this lockdown, but still not exactly what we want. And I must admit, Lance, like people are talking about this is how the game is gonna change. We must move to rapids and online play. Like I'm gonna be like, when you're young and you hear older people talk about they old school and they want to stick to their ways. Like I can see myself being old and saying I want to stick to the old ways of playing classical chess over the board. I'm not going to. Okay, I'm open-minded and I will try new things, but I don't think I want to stick to rapids and online play and hybrid type of chess forever. So hopefully things will get better.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what's happening at the moment, besides just chess, how much time do you actually spend in front of a computer?
Yeah, it's
you know what I mean. And
it's
now
just
you're
way
playing
too much
online
time.
as well.
Yeah.
You don't touch things, man. I mean, now you're taking that physicality out of chess as well,
I mean,
especially.
It's like the chess player already doesn't have that much physicality. Now you're taking away that
Exactly.
last bit. So
Exactly, and then you have some players, they thrive on that physicality when they sit. The presence.
yeah,
front of
the watch going off at that crucial moment and so
yeah,
on.
the watch going off. Some players they.
by the way, Paul has gotten out both his knights here. Craig has used all of his pawns, clearly making an attempt to gain space. Paul, on the other hand, has used 2 knights already, and interesting start already to the game, guys. But yeah, it's true, Lance.
Minor piece play at the moment. I'm even thinking maybe I don't know. Would you try to get your dragon bishops out now after this and see how it goes? Or?
Well, I've got the general principle for myself of trying to not get your dragon bishops out too early or expose them out, or maybe not get them out too far because they get chased around. So I would say get out your the saying that I used yesterday is knights before dragons. So knights before dragons. And then we see afterwards where to put the dragons comfortably.
I mean, knights before dragons, but then also, are you saying dragons before rooks?
Probably yes. So I would say put the dragons on not too advanced squares, unless you see an obvious great square and then you castle and then you see what happens. But we've been seeing, I mean, that's just my general conservative point of view. We've been seeing different ideas. Ben Hercules was amazing yesterday, I think, being a newcomer. The guy has been displaying some solid play and some beautiful dragon tactics yesterday in the crucial match against Grandmaster Kenny Solomon. But he's been playing well. Even the one game Ben lost to Henry, he was holding Henry toe-to-toe for a long time up until the end where he blundered. So it's been a tight tournament thus far. It's been a really tight tournament. No easy games, no quick games. And the guys, I don't know, are learning how to play more tight and to avoid the early catastrophes. Queen e7 on the board, by the way. All logically developing here. White has also put a knight on d3 now. So yeah, Bungie also says he likes the slow build-ups. It is quite nice. It's I like the positional play as well, but you always have this feeling that things can explode. So yeah, in fact, I think we saw an end game or two yesterday as well, but rough end games, not quiet ones.
And you yourself, would you prefer playing lots of end games in these positions, or you prefer the middle games?
I think the end games are quite interesting. I'd like to see more end games. So I would like to go into end games. I would swap off queens and go into something interesting. I think there's a lot to explore. But what I can tell you, the bit that I've also played is that the end games are also not slow. If there's 2 or 3 pieces left, then it's still it can be quite one dragon and maybe another piece can already cause an exposed king to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So the end games are also quite interesting, but I'm keen to see more of those. So white takes more space. He captures on e5 and then d5, and then Paul had to play his knight back. And this is something similar to what David experienced yesterday. He was experiencing the lack of space, and the problem is if you don't get space, your dragon bishops don't feel that nice. So Paul needs to figure out what to do with that knight on d8 soon, and he's going to probably want to break with f5, which doesn't look logical right now. So some things to figure out. Maybe f6, dragon, f7, and castle. I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe he'll try f6, maybe a knight f7, get the knight maybe somehow to d6. So I don't know.
Oof, dragon c5 immediately hitting the queen. And
now it's heating up.
It's already heating up. Yeah,
it comes to the party.
The queen is feeling. The queen can't go to d7, by the way, because the dragon will catch it there as well. So where to put the queen?
I mean, it only has. It doesn't only have 2 squares.
F6, G5, or H4. I would suggest queen
F6.
Trade,
You don't want to
trade queens.
F6. Would you exchange?
Yeah, I would trade just to, but okay, maybe F5 would be very weak, but the dragon bishop. So once one guy gets the initiative, it can be very difficult to stop. So,
but isn't the pawn hanging there? Or what?
Ooh, the pawn is hanging, but I mean, white can play knight 1 to F2, and then he stops the check and defends the pawn. So it's clearly white cannot go G3 because of queen takes pawn check. So probably just
maybe
knight 1.
But maybe knight D3 as well. Maybe, I don't know.
Knight D3 to F2, and then you can put the other one on E3.
Oh, the bishop goes back.
So the bishop goes back.
That's very convenient.
Interesting choice. I thought the dragon bishop was doing good on C5, but
and
maybe
the queen goes back to E7, and maybe we'll see some repetition.
Yeah, I doubt white will want to spoil the opportunity of the white pieces by repeating. Seems like white has more space as well, so why? Maybe white was just testing black to see if, black could capture the e4 pawn and think that nothing's defending it. But Paul goes queen f6, and now he's always have this idea of trading queens. His dragon can go to e7. His g8 dragon. His other dragon can go to d7. It's just a problem for black's knight on d8, I think, long term that he needs to fix out. White has got a bit more natural development available. He can play knight e3. He can go dragon to d2 or c2. Queen e2, castle. So white still looks a bit better over here with pressure on the e5 pawn as well. By the way, Lance, and to the viewers out there, subscriptions are open. We started yesterday for the first time on my channel. It's possible to subscribe as well. So if you feel like supporting the channel, we will be having some sub tournaments soon, guys. We'll be doing some more training coming next week, and in the future we'll start doing some fun stuff just to say thank you to the subscribers. So subscriptions are open. Feel free, and if you're watching, if you haven't followed yet, press the follow button and join us in the chat box.
So when exactly are your tournament starting, Calvin?
So we need to work out the final details, but I'm probably planning on having a weekly something for the subscribers, at least one thing for the subscribers. So it's probably gonna be more than that. I want to go back to I don't know if you guys remember, I organized a tournament for everyone last year. This is not what I'm referring to with the subs doing that, but that will also benefit the subs. But we're gonna do some cool stuff. We're gonna do some really cool stuff for the subscribers coming soon. It's finally opened up, guys. So yeah, feel free to show your appreciation. Anyways, so Paul played this interesting move h5 after knight e3. I'm not too sure about it. What could you be planning with h5 though?
Well, I think here you just want to play a bit for more space in this position, and I don't think.
Maybe he's trying to stop knight g4.
Yeah, but
Because
you can just move the queen again. I mean, it doesn't really do too much on G4.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he just doesn't want to move his queen so much anymore. His queen has been moving.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, space-wise as well, just grabbing a bit of space. I still don't like that knight on D8. It's a bit
yeah,
disturbing me at the moment.
Yeah, I think Paul maybe can play G6, cover some more squares, dragon to H6 is an idea. What do you think about that? G6, dragon H6, and other dragon goes to D7. It will start looking like a normal position. White, of course, has this other idea on the queen side as well of playing C4 and C5. That's a long-term slow idea. Of course, white is just planning on castling immediately and putting pressure on that queen on F6. That's probably on white's mind immediately.
Or maybe white can just can't white just castle in this position?
Yes, white. It's black to play, so white has played queen e2. Surely white wants to play castling next. Pawn to c6 played, putting pressure on the center. I'm not too sure if that is really too beneficial for black, because if you capture on d5, more lines open up. Because that dragon bishop on b1 would also become more happy. The e file would open up, especially with the black kings in the center. I'm not sure if Paul is really doing himself any favors here. Castling happens pretty fast, and the queen on f6 is in some danger. I think white has got a huge initiative, Lance. Black is in trouble.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, I still have a problem with if one piece looks bad and then your whole position looks bad.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you definitely part of the Nimzovich school of chess. Sounds like you've been schooled well in the art of.
It's just something you pick up
nice.
over the years. With some positional play, but I mean, in this format, man, I mean, in this type of game, it's a new ball game, new ideas, but it always helps to have all your pieces looking good.
Yeah.
It doesn't do any harm by improving your worst piece.
And if you look at it, white basically just needs his dragon bishop on b1 and his a1 rook to join, then he's good to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. If white can somehow get his dragon bishop, his last one to just out from the back rank, connect the rooks, and then I think white has solved all his opening problems.
If you can call them
not that
problems.
White had problems, but white will be.
But he will be good to go. But considering black's position, he still has some difficult choices to make. He still needs to get the 2 dragon bishops out. He still needs to worry about his queen being attacked by the rook on f1. He still needs to castle. And the knight on d8 is a pain as well. So lots and lots of problems for Paul to solve here. Opening not going so great here for him. I think taking the space there for white worked out quite well. And yeah, now it's white to play, and white can even use a discovered attack on the queen. But is there anything useful?
I mean, the intuitive move maybe for white is to play almost something like dragon bishop g3 maybe, or maybe
putting pressure on e5.
Yeah.
Okay, black is still covering it with the dragon bishop on b8, but that makes a lot of sense to me. The dragon g3, let's say queen e7, and then maybe white should just try to. I would consider dragon to d2. Dragon b1 to d2, or pawn to c4 even. Looks interesting. Maybe threatening c5 and d6 and completely taking more space. That looks like an idea. Black might have to take on d5 soon then.
I mean, you see a lot of options here for white. I'm trying to find some moves for black here. I mean, you have to move the queen maybe to e7.
Yeah.
And somehow find a way to improve that knight, get that knight out, and I don't know. Do you think the king is safe there in the center for now?
I got a feeling the king is not gonna be safe soon. I actually just want to see if I can fix something very small over here. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I just have a bad feeling looking at Black's position over here. Welcome to Mapungubwe, also one of our contestants later on. We had I am Mabu in the house here in the chat, and we've got I am Gobese here in the chat. C4, C5, Knight C4. Yes, those are some ideas we've been looking at. He says pawn to C4, C4 played, by the way. Pawn to C5 may be a threat, and then Knight C4 instead of D6. So Knight C4 going for that outpost on D6 also very dangerous, putting more pressure on the E5 pawn as well. So yeah, no, White is experiencing a lot of freedom and good options. So Black is in trouble.
I mean, where is that knight going to when you push the knight back?
Yeah, no, it's big trouble. I think maybe Black should capture on D5 now. Capture on D5, and then what does White take back with? CD again. CD. Or is there anything more dangerous? Maybe CD and then C5 anyway. Could be an idea. So that when the knight moves, you can capture on D5. But Paul now plays knight to D7. Trying to watch out for that C5 move. I think White can still play C5, right?
Yeah, C5 is still playable. I mean, you have the knight protecting it, and then...
So C5 threatening knight C4 looks very, very scary to me. I think this is maybe going to be one of those typical games we saw at Four Queens or the other tournament. Some sharp play from the beginning. Things are the clouds are gathering here, Lance. Only question is, does Paul have his rain jacket? That's the only question.
Yeah, definitely. What dark cloud circling on this case here, white clouds.
Yeah. But okay, things happen quickly. So I mean, David displayed some good defense yesterday, and it seemed certain moments it seemed like he was in huge trouble, and then 2 moments later, then it seems like he's kind of almost out of everything. So, I think tenacity is important in this game, and White goes for the more sober, solid approach with Dragon to D2, just building up more the Dragon, maybe eyeing the B4 square.
I really like that move.
So just completing his development.
Yeah. I was not happy before for White, but this is even better.
Yeah, nothing wrong about that move. Super solid, and building up, of course. So, yeah. Question is, how does
Black has a lot of moves as well. I mean, you can improve your position, and your opponent doesn't have moves. Why not?
Banji was suggesting here C5, pawn to C5, pawn to B6, knight B7. Oh, Black playing pawn to C5, pawn to B6, knight B7, and knight D6. That's also, the blockader. I wonder if this rule still applies. Probably it does still in this game. The knight is the best blockader. So maybe Black should try that. Maybe this gives Black an opportunity. Interesting idea, Bunji. So pawn to C5 immediately here, trying to block the position. And to get that going. But Mapungubwe points out a typical pawn sack in those close positions, Lance. So let's imagine Black plays C5. Maybe pawn to D6 immediately is quite a nice pawn sack, because that D5 square is becoming, it's a huge invitation for the knight on E3. And once it lands on D5, it's just chaotic. So that just looks great for White. Yeah. So interesting ideas here by the chat. The guys are doing their own match. Maybe one day we must have a tournament for the people in the chat, Lance. In fact, that's what I'm trying to do with the subscribers. We're gonna have these type of things for the subscribers soon. So yeah, Dragon to D6 played.
Dragon goes out. That's interesting.
So that's bold, trying to stop C5 from happening.
But why don't we just hit B4 maybe? Just spice up the position.
Okay, if White goes B4, then we go C5. I think the idea that Paul has is he wants to go C5 without allowing the pawn push to D6. So cool idea. Okay. I like it. And Mapungubwe is on point here. Pawn to C5. a pawn sack, knight takes pawn, and then knight c4, hitting the dragon bishop with tempo, and opening up your dragon bishop on f2, threatening a discovered. Oh my word, yeah, that looks crushing. That looks crushing. Pawn to c5 and knight c4 looks absolutely crushing. I think black will have to retreat with his dragon bishop after c5. Maybe go dragon f8 or something. Bungie is suggesting after c5, knight takes c5, knight c4. If knight takes d3, you can take on d6 with check. You can also recapture your knight on d. So doesn't seem good. Okay, so Craig misses that idea of c5. He builds up, but I think he's giving black the opportunity to play c5 now, and Paul rushes to play c5. I think white missed his opportunity, Lance. That was a huge opportunity to just crush black.
And that allows black now to play the move c5.
Pawn to b4. Now trying to get that in, and I think b6 is the automatic move we're gonna see here. Yep. Paul is actually ahead on the clock. That's typical of Paul, though. Paul loves to apply this practical pressure on the clock. One thing you can expect from Paul, Lance, is whether he's in a good position, whether he's in an equal position, whether he's in a bad position, you're gonna get the same type of pressure on the clock facing Paul. So he's always gonna press you on the clock, and that's a nice practical weapon he always uses against his opponents. He's got energy. He's young. And he's basically waiting for you to slip up when you have little time, and then he has this extra time to cash in and actually do some good calculation. So, and find something. So I think Paul got out of. I mean, sometimes you see the clouds gathering, Lance, and then all of a sudden the wind blows it to another area, and you don't get those storms. So right now, it's not over yet. The danger. I mean, white is lining up those dragon bishops towards h4 right now. Black's queen is in a bit of a bother. And still that knight on d8 is disabled, I will say. He's not able to walk freely.
Yeah, but I mean, you can solve that problem maybe by the knight going to b7 and then
the bishop must still get out of the way. So there's a lot of moves to be made. Paul plays dragon to e7, and now if dragon to h4, we can just sack the queen for the 2 dragons. That would be convenient. So, and notice Paul has left his queen on f6, and the rook has been on f1 forever. So, for a long time now. And yes, Bungie has spotted it. That blockade did come in handy for black. Queen to g7 is getting played, and the e5 square seems covered. And I must say, black has done an amazing job to get this from a couple of minutes ago, Lance. This is like a dream for black, or from what he had. And this can be frustrating from the white's point of view. I'm sure Craig felt that he was doing much better. And sometimes when you miss that opportunity to crush your opponent and then realize, but we're going to play a longer game, even though you're still slightly better, it can be very frustrating, and then you can start forcing the issue in the wrong way. So white needs to just keep his composure here. And Mapungukwe says, game on. Definitely, I can see black now castling and one day even tempting f5.
It's amazing how black has improved his position the last 5 moves or so.
Yeah, pawn takes c5, knight takes c5. Is that improving white's situation? Yeah, maybe knight b4, but I don't see it. Why b takes c? I'm not sure what white is trying to do here, Lance. Because that square is he just gave up the c5 square to Paul.
5 squares now taken, and then you can strengthen it by putting the other knight on b7 even.
Yes, b7. Now it started to make sense. Knight b7, knight d6.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. I think white lost the grip of things here. That doesn't make sense at all. Now the rook on c1 looks silly. The knight is pinned on e3. Okay, pawn to d6 is played. So he sacks the pawn now. Not in the most favorable circumstances. The knight is even still pinned. But he's trying to open up lines. One thing we've seen in the previous tournament as well in Paradigm Kings is that Craig can get into tough situations, but he's got the knack of trying to get play. Especially with the dragon bishops on the board, anything is possible. One single old pawn is not going to be the end of the world. It's all about activity.
I'd probably king h1 here and then...
king h1 and then you're going to get the knight on d5, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, rook d1 played instead. First chasing the bishop. So he's going to hassle these dragon bishops now. Because the dragon, where does he go? To e7 and then later on the knight will land on d5. So where do you put the dragon bishop? Maybe b7. And Bungie says rook d5 is also coming, chasing the dragon bishop. That's also possible. Whoa! Here comes a monster tactic. So Mapungkupe was suggesting dragon takes e4. But dragon takes c4 gets played. So the knight is pinned. If queen takes c4, guys, there's a monster tactic. Dragon takes e3 check.
Wow.
Poking the king and the queen. Wow. Wow. Okay, so... Wow. Okay, so Paul utilizing these dragons. Look at those dragons on c5 and c4. I completely missed that. And I missed the fact that the e4 pawn was also hanging. It seemed like maybe, yeah, rook d1 was an error, Lance. King h1 was much better, and then the knight was landing on d5. So that seems like a huge slip up here. The queen needs to move now. The dragon on e1 can't block because the on d3 because the queen on e2 is blocking its path. So what now? Queen can't go to d2. Queen needs to defend the knight. So what? Queen f3. Probably queen f3 here. Yeah, queen f3 needs to be played.
Don't have a choice.
And then king h1 as soon as
queen
we can.
f3, we get just the pawn for it, but I mean, black has a very good...
Lance, we spoke about that knight on d8 being the worst piece. Oh my!
But that knight...
And then the knight is just dropping. Wow! Okay, I think I still need to get my second cup of coffee in, Lance, because I'm missing all the dragon tactics. so the knight was just busted. So yeah, guys, as this is just proof that commentating for the last 3 tournaments doesn't improve your Dragon Paradigm Chess 30. You should be playing it. So Paul is on top here, utilizing the dragon bishops against one of the most experienced guys in the business. He's showing a lot of resilience here, and now he's actually on top.
I mean, what's happening now, Calvin, is that he's checking and attacking the rook. So isn't that... He's going to have a lot of material.
The rook is not defended by the bishop on g3, by the way. So if you take h1, that's a free rook.
The free rook.
Wow. Paul is just... Yeah, this is just game over. Like Mapungkupe says, it's over.
Over.
Wow. Okay, the dragon bishops are still on the board, but with all of those pawns and no pawn breaks, I don't see how white is going to be able to create play even. It's not easy to motivate yourself how to okay, rook f2 at least saves the rook. Rook f2 saves the rook. It's a very delicate situation. The queen has to defend the rook on d1. Black can play knight e6. Does black castle? Make sure about his king. What to do here, Lance? Black is on top.
It's nice to play black here.
Wow. What is black up? Black is a knight up and a pawn. Yeah. And that knight is going to... That bad knight that I was talking about on d8 is going to be the monster on the board.
Calvin, I just like to know, that dragon bishop, does it have a square if you play the move h5?
h5. Wow. I think Paul missed that one, Lance. h5 is a beauty of a move. Paul played knight c6, trying to get the knight into the game. Now, Craig desperately is trying to get his dragons active. Dragon to c3. What does that do?
I mean, you could still play the move, I guess.
Dragon to c3. So Paul plays knight d4. Or he's hovering over d4. There's a check on a4 available. Paul must just watch out for his king. Oh no! He blunders his dragon. 94 and the dragon is dropped. Wow.
Ouch.
And a huge blunder. Huge blunder, and white is back in it all of a sudden.
It's painful.
White is leading.
Maybe that move is still on the cards or not?
h5. h5 seems right.
I mean, it's amazing. He's been not seeing it for quite a while.
But h5, then white can play dragon takes e5.
Dragon E5.
And then the knight
queen
drops.
takes, and the knight drops now. Yeah. Now you can't play it.
But Paul is gonna play knight E2 now. Check. He's hovering over E2, and then he wants to take the white queen. But he's gonna have to give up another knight and a dragon for all of this.
But I mean, isn't he material up to giving up something?
Now he currently he's a down now in exchange. He's got a knight for a dragon. So if he gives up a knight and a dragon for to get white's queen, then white will have 2 dragons for the queen. That will be an interesting one. Okay, Paul has got 4.5 minutes. Craig has got 1.5 minutes. Yeah, that was a huge blunder. A whole dragon blunder, Lance. That's about 6 or 7 points you just blunder. It's bigger than a rook. So that h4 move is definitely a nice idea that you had. And Paul
so basically, in this format of the game, it is okay not to resign too early.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the dragons in the air still, anything can go. So, we're seeing ups and downs here. White is in charge now, even though it's not so clear because Black has this knight for the dragon, and Black has how many pawns? Black has 2 pawns and a knight for a dragon. The only thing is that E5 pawn is a major target now. And I was going to say the Black knight is very stable, but if E5 drops, then everything collapses basically. So I think Paul is in trouble now. If he can't hold on to that E5 pawn, he's going to be busted. And pressure on the D8 rook. The D1 rook is eyeing the D8 rook. Once the E5 pawn drops, the knight is going to drop. F6 is not possible. I think Black is busted here, Lance.
So no tactic available here, maybe?
I think Paul should have tried the knight E2 check and just get into an unbalanced position where he has the queen versus the 2 dragons. Maybe it was going to be torture anyway. But I think this is even worse now. I think this is worse. Maybe knight c6.
I think maybe he's considering, playing
knight
the knight.
c6, rook takes rook, knight takes d8, and then white will crash through with dragon takes e5. Yeah, I think that's over. I think the rook on h8 is also a problem. Wow, that was a sad one for Paul, blundering the dragon away like that. And he had more time, so just got a bit too excited over there. Castling would have also made sense to get the king safe early on, but I mean, it goes like this. Okay, so black castles and e5 is dropping now. White can now fork. He can go dragon takes e5, hitting the queen and hitting the dragon bishop on c4, f6, and then we can play rook takes f6 maybe. I think dragon takes e5. Maybe white is just calculating to make sure now if there's no nicks and tricks. But dragon takes e5 should secure it now, Lance. Yeah, Mapingupe is saying, I mean, the strategy of playing so fast did backfire, but that's always a danger of playing using that practical weapon. You apply a lot of pressure on your opponent, but you need to kind of slow down sometimes just to make sure you also have a grip of the position. Dragon takes e5, the chat is suggesting a knight e2 check. So dragon takes e5, knight e2 check. And we could then possibly, but after knight e2 check, the rook on d1 is hanging somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I mean, you capture first and then...
So rook takes e2 then we play dragon takes e2 check, dragon takes e2, rook takes d1. Oh, I'm not sure. White plays h4 instead. Would knight e2 check work over there? I'm not sure.
I mean, I think so. Isn't it the dragon bishop defending e5 if the knight moves?
If knight e2 check, but then we play rook takes e2. And then the rook takes d1, dragon takes d1.
Yeah.
And then dragon takes e5, you probably would recommend. Ah, okay,
Yeah.
so that's an
The
idea.
dragon bishop defends it.
Okay, so but if black can consolidate here, thanks Mapunguve, interesting analysis over there. If black can consolidate, then the knight on d4 would become a very nice asset actually. It might not be over if black can consolidate, because black has essentially enough material. I would say to at least keep things interesting. 2 pawns and a knight. It's what's that, 5 points. A dragon we can consider maybe 6 points, 6 or 7 sometimes, but 6, let's say 6. So it's a fair battle if black can consolidate. He's got a nice outpost on d4.
I think what might also happen here is that maybe considering sacrificing the rook for the knight.
Yeah, definitely on his mind. Yeah, queen to f8 played, and yeah, Prapela's just hinting that it looks like Mapungubwe is getting ready, or looks like he's ready for his match. Mapungubwe just saying he's getting ready. So Bungie says the pass pawn on the queen side is a long-term thing that black can use. And Craig down to 10 seconds, and he sacks his rook. He sacks his rook for the knight. And what is the situation going to be like now? I'm a bit confused here. So now, oh, black will have a rook and a pawn for the dragon. But those dragon bishops with those holes around the black king seem to be very scary, Lance. They seem to be very scary. Whoa. Is there something? Doesn't seem like anything. But after
changes happening here.
After rook takes d4, dragon takes d4, queen f6 is a huge threat. I think black is going to be in trouble here. I think black is going to be in trouble. That those open diagonals around the king, the dark squares, is just too much. I think black is going to be in trouble.
How do you defend against a threat like after all these exchanges? Maybe queen.
Okay, let's just pause quickly.
Okay, yeah, now
okay.
It's...
You want to... Oh, it's fine, okay.
No, it's fine. Let's continue after bishop
I think
takes.
there was a small issue with the mouse.
It's difficult to defend those dark squares.
Yeah, maybe dragon e6 here? I think maybe dragon to e6 instead of... But he wants to keep his own dragon on the board. It's just interesting. Rook to e6 stops queen f6 and queen e5. Interesting move. Okay, I didn't expect this game to go this route. It's actually still a game, Lance. It seems like white is still on top. But the problem for white is he doesn't have nice pawn levers. He doesn't have the pawn breaks to open up. So he needs to now maneuver with these dragon bishops. And for now, his queen cannot enter on f6 or h6. So white was hinting at dragon f4, but the rook f4 could be forking the two dragons. So Craig is extremely low on the clock. Paul's got 2 minutes. Craig is going to get an extra 15 seconds. That will get him to 21 seconds. But king h2, just tucking away the king. Just trying to score that extra bit of time. Also to think.
I mean, maybe Craig is also maybe, I wouldn't say you would try to sack maybe one dragon bishop.
For the rook. Yeah, because, and Bungie says something interesting as well. The rook and the pass pawn can be stronger than the dragon in an endgame, if the king is safe, of course. But right now, I don't feel like the black king is that safe yet. So Brapela suggesting queen e7 here, trying to get into an endgame, looks solid. I think black wants to exchange. I think black wants to exchange queens here. That seems a bit crazy. Queen h6. How does he allow this? That seems crazy. Wow, I think queen c8 was a huge blunder. I think that's like just a huge blunder.
Possible way to get in there.
I don't see how Paul can get out of this one. That was a huge blunder, but I mean, black was still stuck. He couldn't do much. Okay. So, and the queen is in, and I think it's going to be over soon.
No,
right? Dragon f4. Now. Queen c8, huge blunder, yes. Dragon f4, perhaps? How do we finish this off nicely? Dragon f4, yes. The dragon may be coming into h6 next. And there's both dragons eyeing the e6 rook, so the queen can't move around too far. Yeah, lots and lots of blunders in this game, but still a very interesting one. So you could play something like Queen h6 check as well. Dragon h6 check is there. What else?
I think Craig is a bit down on time. He might be.
Yeah, that's the only problem now for white, I think. It's the pressure on the clock. Okay, so he goes Dragon f6, so he's now willing to trade into a dragon, queen and dragon position where the black king is just very much exposed, and white will be one pawn up as well.
Wait, can't he play after rook takes maybe queen and then?
And if queen f7, then dragon g6 just wins the queen. So yeah, I think these type of situations we've seen already that the queen and dragon combo is just way too powerful. Like, I think this is over. Maybe dragon f7 is the best defensive move here. Yeah, dragon to f7. Queen f7, dragon g6 wins the queen immediately. Yeah, I thought this was going to be a quick game, Lance, but it's turning out to be a roller coaster of a ride. Yeah, Paul now joining Craig in the time trouble. Ooh, that looks scary. King g8. What about dragon h6 check? Dragon h6 check. King h7. Dragon f5 check. That's winning. What do you think, Lance? Dragon h6 check.
Yeah.
Where's the king going? And then if king h7, then dragon f5 just wins the queen.
Oh yeah.
Dragon g6. What? So threatening mate, but maybe black can play queen d6 check now. Queen d6 check, trade your queens. I think white missed that fatal combo there. But this seems to be good. Black must probably just play queen d6 check, trade queens, but then he's in a tough endgame where the h5 pawn is about to drop.
We might see an endgame here as well. I think
a pure dragon endgame.
A fair outcome.
Let's see if Paul can spot it. Paul plays queen d6 and we're going to see a dragon endgame, guys. Dragon bishop endgame.
There the move comes.
So Vero yesterday in the chat, Lance was suggesting that we call the winner of the tournament. The winner of the tournament, or who? Yeah. Goku. You should call him Goku. Because
I'm not a big Goku fan, so
Dragon Ball Z. I didn't agree with him, but that's what he suggested. Of course, the female champion we call Khaleesi. For obvious reasons, if you are a Game of Thrones fan. The e5 is a nice move there by Craig, actually, because the dragon bishop on g6 is covering the e5 pawn.
Finally, we have a nice endgame here, maybe, but now you have to watch out for moves like maybe
black's only hope is
g7,
king g3, king g7, yeah, king g7. Black's only hope is to push his queenside pawns. I don't think he can hold the king side anymore. So
you know what? I maybe would have played g4 first, maybe.
But maybe white doesn't want to exchange that pawn. He wants to win the h5 pawn. That's what I think what he wants to do. Dragon h5 check gets played. Mapungube spotted it. And yeah, Paul is now struggling. He can't take on e5 anymore. It's a lost king pawn endgame. And he needs to start pushing his queenside pawns, but the h pawn is going to start rolling now for white. Should be over soon. Interesting battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul being the newcomer in this tournament, or in this variant, he's has displayed some nice play, and he missed his opportunities. He was way up. Paul going down to 13 seconds. He needs to start pushing his queenside pawns. Okay, so he tried to play b5, but why couldn't he get b5 in? Okay, let's pause over there. Let's get the players on. Players, can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear?
Okay, Paul, can you hear us as well? Paul, can you hear us? Okay, we're just waiting for Paul to jump on with
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Interesting game, guys. Wow, what an up and down battle. What's your thoughts on it, Craig? What's your thoughts on the game?
Sure. Yeah, I thought I had a better opening there, but it seems like Paul defended like a beast there. I think yeah, I missed that little tactic there, Paul. Well done. I got you back in it, but then you missed one back. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
I think that's
Paul, you can continue.
just yeah. I think it's just my experience with the keys. If I've played more, I'll probably see that quite easily. But when you're in the game, you just kind of think it's a knight type thing.
Yeah, so I mean, it seems like White had a lot of space in the opening, huge advantage, and then maybe that what was it, Rook C1 or something was too slow, because you could have maybe played C5 immediately when you gave Black the chance to play C5 himself. Then the position slowed up and so on. So that was an opportunity missed. And then Paul, you were up, and then just a huge dragon drop, and amazingly after all those blunders from both sides, then we ended up having a nice game. So. But I think the last interesting moment was when Paul, I think you blundered with Queen C8, but it's a difficult position for you anyway. Like you can't move your queen, you need to cover H6. What does Black do? Maybe start pushing the queen side pawns.
Maybe I should have tried to get some sort of, I don't know, counter attack or some sort. Try to get some.
But the Dragon Bishops again showing a lot of pressure put on Black. So
also, Craig, sorry for moving the.
No problem. I mean, it's something that I mentioned. It's something to get used to. So just watch out for that, guys. Okay, so well done to Craig for winning this first one. It was an up and down game. Well done to Paul as well for displaying such good paradigm chess that is skills so early on in his career. But thanks, guys, for an interesting one. And we're gonna take a short break. We'll be back soon with the next match. We'll see you guys later. Cheers.
Okay.
Yes.